What's going on, everyone? It's James here from LFC Transfer Room. Liverpool have managed to make it through to the last 16 of the Champions League, navigating the group of death with an impressive 6 wins out of 6, being the first British team to ever accomplish this task and only the 7th team in Champions League history to win all their group matches in a row. So what I thought we'd do today is have a bit of a look at the teams that we could end up facing in the last 16 of the Champions League, because there are some rules and permutations about who you can be drawn against, and just sort of see how those teams are performing in their respective leagues as well. My name's James Dean. This is LFC Transfer Room, and let's have a look forward to the Champions League. On the right-hand side, you'll see a list of all the teams that have made it through to the last 16 of the Champions League. There's one obvious omission in Barcelona, who normally always seem to make it through, but they're in a massive rebuilding job. And the Champions League feels a little more British dominated than normal. And I think that can be seen when you look at the betting odds for who they expect to win the Champions League. When you look at who the favourites are for the Champions League, you'll see Man City are at number 1, followed by Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain, and then Chelsea and Man United. So all 4 British teams are in the top 6 expected winners of the Champions League. And it's felt a little like that as Liverpool have been going through the group stage. We've been playing against, the best team in Portugal, and that's been relatively simple for us. The best team in Spain last year, and that's been relatively simple for us. And AC Milan are currently top of La Liga, and that's been relatively simple for us. So it does feel like the British teams are a little bit more of a powerhouse in this year's Champions League. And probably winning the Champions League may even be easier than winning the Premier League this year, with Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea creating numbers and performances that are having to be, a draw or a loss is devastating potentially for the run on in the league. So let's first and foremost, let's take the last 16 and let's see who Liverpool theoretically could be drawn against, because there are certain rules that the Champions League have where we couldn't be drawn against certain teams in the last 16. So first and foremost, obviously, we cannot be drawn against ourselves. We cannot be drawn against any Premier League team, so that knocks out Man United, Chelsea and Man City. We can't be drawn against Atletico again, who made it through as runners-up in our group, because we went against them in the group stage. And we won't be drawn against any other group winners, so that'll knock out Real Madrid, Juventus, Lille, Ajax and Bayern Munich. And that pretty much leaves us with 6 teams that we could be drawn against in the last 16. These are Inter Milan, Sporting Lisbon, Benfica, Villarreal, Paris Saint-Germain and RB SALZBERG. And we've got the odds of them being successful in the Champions League according to Paddy Power and bookies odds. So as you can see, most of them are 100 plus out, with only Inter Milan and Paris Saint-Germain having odds that are even slightly comparable to something where you might want to put your money. And only Paris Saint-Germain are in the top 6 for teams that we could face in the last 16. So it feels like we should be getting through the last 16. It feels like there's only one danger team for us to come against in Paris Saint-Germain. Maybe Inter Milan could be a little bit more dangerous than the other teams. Seem like they should be something relatively simple for Liverpool to get through. However, let's have a look. Sporting are currently second. They have a record of 11 wins, 2 draws and no losses. So they are currently undefeated in the Portuguese league. They're currently behind Porto in the league. Players such as Sebastian Coates, former Liverpool player, and Gonzalez, who we've been linked with in the past. But they're undefeated, they're confident, and they seem to be performing well at this moment in their league. They've got a good run of form going with no defeats, but they are currently still behind Porto, who we played in the group stage. Next, we've got Paris Saint-Germain. They're currently top of Ligue 1 with 13 wins, 3 draws and 1 defeat. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about the Messi, Mbappe and Neymar partnership. Can that be something that would derail Liverpool if we were to play them in the Champions League knockout round? It's safe to say the Champions League is Paris Saint-Germain's primary focus. So we'll probably see them resting players on the build-up to Champions League games, you know, the game before. And in a Premier League season where we've got 3 teams vying for the Premier League title, it's not a luxury that either Liverpool, Chelsea or Man City could have. So probably Paris Saint-Germain would constitute one of the harder challenges for us to face. Next, we've got Inter Milan. Their strike partnership of Edin Dzeko and Lautaro Martinez have them currently at second in their league with 11 wins, 4 draws and 1 defeat. They are currently behind AC Milan in the league and are a team that seem to be performing probably about as well as AC Milan and probably would give us a similar level of competition to AC Milan, but with the second leg being at Anfield, you would feel like we could probably get a draw quite comfortably over there and then bring them back to Anfield and probably score as many as we needed. With only players like Edin Dzeko now getting a lot slower, it would be a lot easier for us to fight against players like this on a one-on-one environment. The unknown team really are RB Salzburg. I mean, they're currently first in their division, 13 wins, 3 draws and 1 defeat. Salzburg have always where we bought Minamino from. It's where Erling Haaland learned his trade. So RB Salzburg seems to be that sort of youth development club where normally they go from Salzburg, shall we say, then to Leipzig and then Leipzig to one of the big European clubs. It seems to be a lot of the way that runs through, but they seem to be breaking it through themselves. And they have a good track record of bringing through young and exciting players. And they've got quite a young squad. So could be quite a difficult challenge for Liverpool because they're very unknown. How we see them compare against other teams is week in, week out. We probably don't have the same level of intelligence as we do against the other leagues because the Austrian league is quite a way away from, you know, the major 5 leagues, and they seem to be dominating it quite comfortably. There's no team anywhere near Salzburg in the league, which is why they're comfortably top of their division. Next, we've got Benfica. Benfica, the same team, same league as Porto, the same league as Sporting. They've got a record of 10, 1 and 2. Their main striker is someone that's getting linked all across Europe at this moment in time as someone. And they've got players like Otamendi and Vertonghen, ex-Premier League players who probably can't deal with the pace of the Premier League anymore and therefore have gone to a slower league, but seem to be performing quite well in their division. It shouldn't really be a challenge for Liverpool to beat this team, but it's worth noting that they are probably got players that are experienced against playing our type of football, with a few Premier League players playing for them at this moment in time. And then finally, the team that made it through last night is Villarreal, beating Atalanta. But they're not having a great year of it, Villarreal, at the moment. They're currently sitting 13th in the league with only 3 wins, 7 draws and 5 defeats so far this season. So Villarreal are really struggling this year, but they managed to make it through in the Champions League by the skin of their teeth, beating Atlanta 2-0 last night. And they should be a relatively simple team for Liverpool to come through again. So reviewing the teams and seeing who Liverpool could potentially draw against in the Champions League, there isn't anyone that I would say massively scares me as a Liverpool fan thinking, oh, this could be a real challenge for us. The hardest one would obviously be PSG, due to the fact that they are putting all their focus on the Champions League, and they've got the front 3 of Messi, Mbappe and Neymar. But with Mbappe running into the last 6 months of his contract and him starting negotiations with clubs, you know, he could be distracted and not wanting to get injured. And I don't think anyone wants to come to Anfield for a second leg. So I think they would want to avoid us and we would want to avoid them. But there isn't really any other team that I think we should be necessarily worried about. Villarreal would probably constitute the easiest path for Liverpool. With their record being so dismal at this moment in time, we should be able to get through them relatively unscathed. Looking at the teams that are remaining, it really is a massive opportunity for Liverpool this year to do quite well and go quite far in the Champions League. I probably predict that a British team will win it. Let's hope it's Liverpool. Who do you want Liverpool to face in the last 16? Out of the 6 teams that we could draw, who do you think would be the best challenge for Liverpool? Who do you think would be who you would want us to play? Put it in the comments below. Make sure that you like, make sure you subscribe for more content from me and the rest of the LFC Transfer Room YouTube team. Have a good day, and let's hope for a favourable draw on Monday.